boy Chris with Life with Chris and Bhecca. That being said, I want to welcome you guys back to a little bit of a live that I have going on. This won't be too much of a long live. I'm just basically speaking on, what's something I speak on every other day or every other week or a couple weeks, depending when I decide to come on live or Bhecca. Um, it's crazy what's going on in the world, right? You know, this world that we live in, I would say 10, 20 years ago, that would make me about 10 years old. I'd say about 15 years ago, I enjoyed life in Canada, right? North America, if you want to call it that. The Canadian lifestyle is good in so many ways where it comes to, I wouldn't say just progression, but the opportunity to kind of do whatever you want, right? To a certain extent. I mean, you get a lifestyle where you can come over here. You have to go to school. You get a job, if that's what you choose to do, which I'm going to touch on very soon. You get a paycheck. You pay a certain amount of taxes. You believe it's doing great for you, to what the government says it's doing for you, and then you realize, damn, I don't have a lot of money left over. Now, I wouldn't say everybody, but I say I hope everybody or most people think about how much they can afford when it comes to receiving your paycheck. How much you need to save to not only, I wouldn't say saving. Saving is not really a good thing. Saving won't make you rich. I would say investing makes you better off in life. Everybody has their understanding of what investing means and investing into what. All right, you could talk about the stock market. You could talk about cryptocurrency. Everybody has their hands in certain things, right? Business, you can get yourself into business, but I always recommend, if you're going to get yourself into business, make sure it's a Fortune 500 company or a company that you don't really have to put too much hands into, because you're not going to really progress doing that by yourself. Ultimately, I believe you should really get educated in investing, get educated in the stock market, get educated in retiring. Right? I'm not referring to retiring at 65 years old, guys, because half of us will not, or 95% of us will not see 65. Based off in this world, people get shot, killed. People die of health issues. People die of just walking across the street. You get hit by a stray bullet. You get knocked. Mental health is crazy. There's so many things going on nowadays. You know what I mean? How you doing there, Tahir? I'm good. How you doing? Palevi? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, y'all. I mean, God bless you guys. You know what I mean? I'm just here talking about life. You know what I mean? When I look at life nowadays, you can look at it in so many ways. Life spending time with family, life spending time with friends, life spending time with your loved ones, whether, whoever that is. Yeah, enjoy your life. But I don't believe a lot of people enjoy going to work and basically just sitting down there saying, oh, I can't wait to retire. You know what I mean? And I don't believe with mental health being a stress relief or something that stresses a lot of people out, it doesn't really, the motivation to go to work is not there, because what are you getting out of going to work? As employees, guys, we pay the highest taxes in North America, okay? Now, if we pay the highest taxes in North America, where does that tax money go, right? Say for Canada, for instance, I could talk on this topic forever, but I'm gonna keep it short and simple. People come in from different countries, great. We love to help all cultures. We love everybody, right? We love to learn about different cultures. We love to eat different cultural food. We love to have different cultural events in Toronto or whatever the case is, on north of BC, Alberta. It doesn't matter what kind of culture that comes around. My only problem is when it comes to this lifestyle in Toronto specifically, or just Alberta or anywhere, is how are they helping their own people, their own Canadians? Whether you came from, I don't know, India or Dubai or Philippines or Guyana or Jamaica or wherever you came from, Italy. When you turn a Canadian, it's kind of like the government completely forgets about you. Scratch, boom, down. You know what I mean? Now you're basically funding a lifestyle of different cultures, and then we go to work and bust our butt. Then we pay the highest taxes. And then you start looking at your friends. They can travel. They can buy homes, which I'm not going to say is the greatest investment anymore. Back, I would say 20 years ago, it was a great investment. Nowadays, I won't say a house is a great investment, especially if the house cost $100,000 years ago, and now it costs $1,000,000. What kind of investment is that, right? You're going in at a higher bracket, right, with a higher down payment, and how much higher can the house go, really? Now, if you rent it out, that's great. Do it legally. I didn't say nothing, right? You make some money. You help people pay your mortgage. Cool. It's not great. It's not bad. Only problem is you're not making any money off of that. All right? So how do we make money? Everybody would say, get into a business. Get into a business. Start your own business. Wrong. Do not start your own business if you have no idea what you're talking about. I like investing because, and I do it every paycheck because it's like Warren Buffett, right? The only reason why he became a multi-billionaire is because he started investing at such a young age. Obviously, he's a whole different person, and kept investing and kept investing and kept investing and kept investing into the stock markets, not crypto. Okay. There's a guy I heard on one of my podcasts. It was a janitor, right? And you know, janitors don't make a whole bunch of money depending on where you work, obviously. He invested whatever money he could for 70 years straight and became a millionaire. Sorry, became a millionaire off of that. Why? Because he was structured, he stayed focused, he kept his finances and expenses low. Right? On the next topic, a lot of people buy homes because it feels good and it's a great investment. As I said, it's not really a great investment. I mean, I beg to differ. We can argue about that. I'm not going to argue. I'm always here to learn. But you see, there's rental. What do you think the government's doing in Toronto or Alberta and whatnot? They're building top of the line rental apartments that look like fully furnished condos, right? And it gives people the ability to feel that they don't have to find $50,000 or $100,000 for a down payment to put into a house, which is crazy unless you get some help. And then on top of how you doing, Pallavi? I hope you're good. Yeah, and that's what you're right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, yeah, it's true. One of the end of the day, what we owe is not ours. And this is exactly what I've been telling people, right? You're working hard for who? The government. You got check this. Down payment. Okay. Say you got family inheritance. Whatever the case is, they helped you get $100,000. You put $100,000 as a down payment, great. If you needed your family to get that $100,000 and you put that down as a down payment plus closing costs, lawyer fees, and having to inspect the house, and don't forget, you need to not only furnish your place, you need food, depending if you have a family now, and you got to have a good chunk of money. I'm talking like $5, $10, $20, $15,000 for any repairs at any means necessary. If you didn't have the down payment, where are you going to find the rest of that money? Your family helped you borrow it. Hopefully they don't want it back. You get into the house and you realize I'm scratching my butt every day to pay monthly for this house for 30 plus years. Never mind that house roof starts to leak. Got to find money for that. Got to redo the backsplash breaks, for God knows. The floors, something happens. The windows that leak after 10 to 5 years, depending on who built the house. You got to make sure you treat the lawn, which is not too bad. You cut the grass, but things do happen. And hey, God forbid you want to upgrade the house. Oh Lord Jesus, you're looking at $100,000 to $200,000, depending who you go with. Before COVID, it was cheaper. Now it's crazy. And this thing of upgrading your house, it makes you feel good, but at the end of the day, basically you got to go for a second mortgage or a HELOC to basically open a second mortgage. Now you owe not only $500,000-$600,000, or say $400,000 or $500,000 on your mortgage, you got a second mortgage that you got to pay for. Now you're in debt, right? So you're not only in debt for 30 years, plus, depends if you go variable or fixed, It really depends on whatever the rates are, and people are like this when it comes to this. How are you benefiting, right? Now, if you have to work 40 hours a week, going to a job where they don't care about you, and you see the house, depending what shift you work at, and you spend 2 days at home, who's really enjoying that house that you're paying all that money for? The burglars or the bugs? Which one of them? You might as well let them enjoy that house because you ain't gonna see it for a long time. God forbid anything happens to you and you got kids. When are you gonna ever pay off this house? And when are you gonna benefit from it? See, guys, that's why I say invest into yourself. Invest into the stock market. It's a marathon. Okay, it's not a race. At the end of the day, it takes time, but doesn't mean you stop. Invest, learn about investing. There's so many videos on YouTube, guys, that we can watch when it comes to investing. And don't worry about what other people are doing, right? Follow the path that God has for you. Don't try to follow anybody else's path, because at the end of the day, you're going to fail. That's not your path to follow. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. This work until 65 nonsense is stupid. Okay? We all want to enjoy life. And if we can get to 65, enjoy your life as you get there. We all have a time on this earth, guys. So yes, enjoy it, but within reasons. As you get older, listen to your ancestors. That sounds like old people. Eh? Listen to your mother and fathers, hopefully, that have done what, if they have a house, or if they're doing good in life, or they're working. Listen to what they're saying, because they've been on this earth a lot longer than us. Okay? When I was 20 years old, shoot, my mother and father told me a lot of things, especially my mother. Do this, do this, do that. I'm like, you ain't talking about nothing. I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm 20 years old. Damn. Glad I listened when I hit 30. Right? I'm glad I got wisdom. I'm glad I slowed myself down and started investing my mind into, man, this work and lifestyle sucks. I could hit my finger with a hammer and boom. Work compensation? What's that gonna do for me? Right? They ain't paying me nothing over there. This Monday to Friday, day shift, afternoon shift, night shift stuff, who's really benefiting? The CEO, the investors, the government, insurance. It's all a pyramid scheme, right? The pyramid scheme, I don't believe, is flying out of here and going to, say, Dubai or India or Thailand or Philippines. I don't think that's a pyramid scheme. I think that's a different way of life. Everybody's moving up in this westernized lifestyle, right? We need to stick to the things our grandparents taught us. We need to stick to common sense, which is not that common. I always say common sense is not that common, because the things I see out there in the world and what people are doing and the problems they find themselves into is so fundamentally, can be fundamentally resolved, right? But it's not, because everybody's wanting to do this. I want to do this. I want to get here. I want to take a trip. I want to become rich. I want to do this. How do you want to become rich? How do you want to take this trip? Are you putting yourself in debt? I believe there's good and bad debt, okay? And how you use debt and how these investors are using, say, debt or assets to make more money is amazing. The question is, are you gonna go on YouTube or on Netflix and worry yourself away? Or are you gonna go watch on YouTube and watch these things that people are teaching us and learn about how we can make our lives better? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are living a life of debt, you should not be on Netflix. You should not be on TV. You should not be enjoying your life. You should be trying to get your life or yourself better, right? Watch a little YouTube podcast, whatever you gotta do, right? Keep your expenses low. If you gotta work 2 jobs to get those expenses down, do it. If you gotta work overtime, do it. Get yourself out of unnecessary debt. I'm talking about credit card debt. I'm talking about car loans. Get yourself out of that joint. I'm talking about payday loans. Get yourself out of that stuff. But that stuff ain't helping you. That's keeping the rich richer. And I'm referring to the rich people as Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, all these billionaires that we don't know about, these millionaires that we don't know about. These are the people that are doing well, right? The people that you see actually owning the businesses and flying all over our heads, whatever cases, looking great. I'll tell you something, that materialistic stuff means nothing to what a good life can give you, right? Just keep your expenses low. And you'll be surprised as time goes by, and if, we all have a time on this earth. Try to live your life to the best of your ability, where you're not going to feel like you're overdoing yourself. You know what I mean? For the wrong reasons. You got kids, you want to show your kids, look, man, this is how our parents lived. This is how their parents lived. This is how our parents lived. This is how we live. Now you guys have opportunities with, such as YouTube. And these kids' minds are so amazing, you know. The things that we weren't allowed to do, like play video games back in the day. And I'm an 80s baby. So, shoot, my parents, man, my mom used to slap me. I used to play video games for such a long time. I ain't gonna make no money off of Super Nintendo at the time, PlayStation 2, if you guys know about that. You know, playing hopscotch and doing all these things. There was no YouTube back in the early 2000s, whatever the case is. Now, these kids are playing hopscotch, playing video games, making millions of dollars. It's like, whoa, dude, this is crazy, right? And it makes you wonder, like, these are the things I wish I did. Now you have the opportunity to, so teach these kids to follow their passion. And don't knock your kids down if they're showing an interest in something that, oh, you don't think is worth it. If they put it on YouTube, they can make money, right? Not to change your life, but to change their life, right? And they're smart. Just teach them the fundamentals. Teach them the things that you know, our parents taught us, or our grandparents taught us, or if you found out from somebody else. Teach them the fundamental basics of living life. The rest will be history, guys. You know what I mean? And that's just my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe in going to work every day and coming home and being unhappy and bringing the stress to your wife or your husband or whatever the case is, or your girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't believe in all that joint, because that's what they want you to do, all right? The government is a pyramid. The government is not our best friend. The government's making money. If you die, they're making money off of you. They're making money off of whoever dies beside you. No matter what, they're making money. They're making money off the taxes that you pay. They're making money off the gas that you pay. Get your ass taxed for that. The paycheck you get every 2 weeks, get your ass taxed for that, 30%. So the higher your wages go, boom, cut that right down. And you see the money you get out of that, and you're like, what? This is all I got for my paycheck? Then I gotta wait 2 weeks for another one of these to pay my mortgage or rent? That ain't no life, guys, right? Because we dream big, and I always say, if you have a dream, find out how you can move forward in that dream. I got a dream, shoot. And I'm doing it every day. All right, I always wanted to work for the top, I don't know, Fortune 500 company, Metrolink, Go Transit. And I'm working there. It's just like any other job. You get paid every 2 weeks. You work overtime to pay a debt or to do something. And that's it. You know what my happiness is? My wife and daughter. Enjoy your time with your family, guys. Enjoy your time with yourself. Enjoy your time outside. You know, it's hot outside. Enjoy that time. Yes, it's hot, but guess what? It's not going to be hot forever. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself with the food that you need, the simple stuff, right? There's people out there that are enjoying their life and have a lot less than what we have, guys, right? And that's something you should ask yourself, right? So, yes, very smoggy outside. Enjoy your life. And if you're on a balcony, enjoy your life, y'all, right? And you don't got to live like everybody else is living. Be different, right? Because I'm different, you're different, we're all different, y'all. You know what I mean? So stay focused, man. I mean, you want to come out here to North America? Come out here with a goal. Come out here with a dream. You know, if you want to leave North America and go to the Asian countries or wherever you're trying to go out there with the same goal and dream, right? Whether it's easier or a little bit harder, go out there with a goal and a dream, right? And don't fall flat on your face when it comes to certain scenarios, because at the end of the day, that's what the government wants, right? Try to keep your hands out of working a job and thinking you're going to get rich off of that. Try to put your hands on, put your hands on things that keep you going in life. You know what I mean? Have a reason to push past the everyday life struggle. You know what I mean? Have a reason to not give a job more than they deserve. Because if you give a job more than they deserve, it's going to give you more work. And what are you going to get out of all of that? Nothing. Back pain, stress, short-term disability, long-term disability, problems. Forget the problems, y'all. All right? Eliminate the problems by focusing on what you want. Look at your kids every day and say, look, guys, I want more for y'all, right? If you spend more time away from your kids and you want to spend time with your kids, what you gonna do? Put that money, take that money you got and invest it into something. Yeah. And be happy. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work. That's fine. Do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't stay focused on, I'm trying to retire at 65, because I'm telling y'all, man, half of us are not going to make it. I might not make it at 65, right? Does that mean I'm not going to enjoy my life and stress over the debt and expenses for the rest of my life? Nope. I'm going to rectify those problems and get out of Dodge, man. Shoot, I'm trying to go to Asia. Forget this place. Right, this right here is what we call the rat race, y'all. Whew, my goodness. You pay your bills and you got next to nothing left. And your boss wants you to come back into work and do more work and more work and more work, even though you're dying, or even though you could barely walk, or even though you don't feel good. They just want you to come in. What does that tell you? It means only good for the work, man. Only good for the job, y'all. You know, thank you guys for joining me on this live. Like I said, I haven't been on it for a little bit. You know, I got some more shorts coming for you guys, and thank you for supporting. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I do things for y'all, man. I do things for my family. Well, mostly for my daughter and wife, whatever case is, and anybody that's joined us, and all the fans and all the subscribers. God bless you guys, man. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, without y'all, there's no us. You know what I mean? And if you do see us in the street, we're real people, man. We're here to show love and respect. You know what I mean? We're all here to learn from each other. And oh, there goes that dog that I've been looking for. Yeah, and love each other. You know what I mean? No hate. You know what I'm saying? Just be who you are, man. Be a better person every day. You know, I'm sure there's a boss that's telling you that, oh, we need you at work. We need you to work overtime, come in off hours. We need you to do whatever the hell. What are you getting out of that joint? What are you really getting? Not enough money to sustain a lifestyle you want to live, so why be there, right? Remember, that person that works 10% of the time compared to, say, you working 95% of the time is getting that same paycheck. What does that tell you? Don't kill yourself with no job. It ain't worth it. You know what I mean? Unless it's something that you're working for yourself to better yourself and your family. Oh, man. Get away from that joint. Right? Do the bare minimum. Go to work. Come home. Invest your money. You know, save a certain change. And enjoy your life. Enjoy your weekends. You know what I mean? With your kids, if that's what it is. You know, or make a weekend for your kids if you have kids or not. Or your partner. You know what I mean? Love each other. Support each other's dreams and goals. Obviously, if it helps everybody. And stop believing in this lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because there's people in different countries that get paid a lot less than us, that live better than us. So I do believe less is more. Right? And if you have ambition, I always say this to you guys, don't stop pushing yourself to get that goal, man. Goals and dreams can be achieved, no matter what nobody tells you. They can be achieved. You heard? Shadow box. And like I say, y'all, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm always gonna say this in the lives, whatever. At the end of the day, without y'all, there'd be no us. You know what I mean? So, thank God for you guys, and God bless you. And I'm trying to come up with some more lives and do some more shorts, man. Y'all keep on supporting me on those shorts. You know, no hate, just love. You know what I mean? Other than that, check it out. God bless you guys. One love.